Guess what I found? So the gap there, that panel is not even fitted properly. It needs to come to me about an inch to fill that gap. See the gap at the top? It's supposed to be flush and it's not. I'll show you the other side. See the difference? Which means I've got to take that other panel off now to move it closer up to the wrong so it looks better. Shit, Elddis or what? Today I am going to attempt a repair. This is the damage that was caused. It has been fiberglassed. This is where I fiberglassed it. All around that mount. Very strong. Painted it white to blend it all in. Use a bit of wet and dry. Give it a good rub down. Where the edges are now flush. So just give it a rub down, give it a wipe, and then I'll get some filler on. And then you can see. This is all now ready to be filled. All the edges are all nice and smooth, so it's all flat. Got a rough finish on it for the filler to grip. Let's get the filler mixed up and get it on. Right, to mix the filler, just take a little bit of filler. It's always best to put a little bit on at a time, not a lot. Bit of hardener in it. Put the lid on. Make sure it's out of the way. Mix up on a bit of cardboard and just give it a good mix. This is proper filler for plastics and fiberglass, so it goes on quick and it's designed to flex. Right, and just mix it very lightly. And then fill it in, scrape off as much as you can, just saves a lot of time afterwards. You probably need to fill it a couple of times. It's always best to put a little bit on and then mix and fill. And as you're putting it on, you can actually feel it already going off quickly. When it starts going off, that's when you want to stop, which is what I am going to do now. As you can see, the first stage of the filling is done. Got the shape now. All you need to do is let it dry for a bit. And if you rub your finger across, you'll see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 teeny weeny little dinks. So you need to add a bit of extra filler on that and then fill it down again. That's nearly done. The panel now is all rubbed down and filled and ready, nice and smooth. It just needs painting. I'll get that done once I get some paint mixed up. The next thing to do now is to remove this panel, and I'll show you that later. The broken panel is now completely removed. All that's left to do is to clean all the sealant, excess sealant. Remove all the sealant, give it a good clean, and that's then be ready to put back on. My next job is to replace this pipe. This is the waste tank pipe. As you can see, it hangs down quite a lot and it has been leaking. Not very good. I think the corrugated, by looking at it, it's probably got a crack or something in it right about there. So I am going to rip it out, replace it, and I'll show you when it's done. As you can see, it is now all done. Got a 22mm waste pipe onto a 22mm and 3/8 adapter, screw straight onto here, and then pushed into the tank unit. Quite straightforward and quick and cheap job. And the leak we had from the freshwater tank was a loose pipe connector at the top there. That had worked its way loose. Just put a spanner on it, nipped it up a little bit, and it seems to have stopped. All the sides being repaired, that's ready for painting. I've removed all of the excess sealant. I've sealed underneath here, underneath these edges, and underneath this edge, because when the old panel come off, it pulled them away, so it broke all the sealants. That's been redone. All that's left now is to seal this. Once this has been sealed and pushed in, I'll leave it to dry overnight, and then I'll just run bead sealant around everywhere, get the lights in, and then I'll be done. Something else I've spotted when I was putting this panel back on. If you notice, there's a gap between the panels. Now I thought it was a new panel not made right, but it's not. Elddis hasn't even fitted this panel properly. It needs to come up towards me about an inch. Now if I show you the other side, you'll see what I mean. This is the other side. That sits absolutely flush between them two mouldings, and this panel sits underneath here a little bit. Elddis can't even fit a panel right. God, they are useless. Absolutely useless. I'm going to have to take the other side off and redo that. I've now removed all this side panel completely off. I'm going to clean all the sealants up, run a bead of sealant underneath here because it feels like a little gap just there, so I'm going to run some sealant underneath that, clean it, tidy it, put the panel back on, put the end piece back on, and then I can move the panel up and it'll be nice and flush. Do a better job than Elddis. The panel is now fitted in place after being painted and polished. All I need to do is to Sikaflex it, secure it, and then run a bead of Sikaflex all around it to make it watertight. Put the lights back in, a couple of screws for the brackets because the brackets need to be moved, and then that should be finished, and I'll show you when it's all done. Motorhome is now finished. New back panel, side panel being repaired, all sealed, bolted on, ready to go. Looks better than what he did. Ain't the best, but it's only a temporary fix until a new panel turns up. And look, Elddis, this is how you make things flush.